en el peso gallo. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds this scheduled in the bantamweight division. Los tres jueces otra vez. Once again, your 3 judges scoring at ringside, Dr. Lou Morat, Thomas Taylor, and Zach Young. With the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, el referee encargado, Jack Reese. Presentando primero en la esquina azul con los pantaloncillos negro con rojo y dorado y un peso de 119 libras y 3/4. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing black trunks trimmed in red and gold, he weighed in officially 119 3/4 pounds. Un veterano con un récord de 25 victorias, 14 derrotas y 19 ganadas por nocaut. This veteran has a record that stands at 25 victories, 14 defeats, 19 wins by way of knockout. Desde Nuevas Casas Grandes, México, presentando el Bulé, Raul HIDALGO. Y sobrete en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos blanco con dorado y un peso de 119 libras. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears white trimmed in gold. He weighed in officially 119 pounds. Con un récord perfecto de 14 victorias, 0 derrotas y 5 ganadas por nocaut. He stands perfect in 14 bouts, 14 victories, no defeats, 5 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, here is the undefeated Oscar El Jaguar Negrete. Once again, your referee, Jack Reese, with the final instruction.
Both trunks are a little bit high. I'm going to let them work in here. Okay. Touch gloves. Buena suerte. Play duro. Play limpio. Está bien.
Tail of the tape, Doug Fisher.
Negrete and Hidalgo, they match up very closely, physically speaking. Negrete is 1 inch taller. Hidalgo is 1 year younger. And Hidalgo has a very slight 1 inch reach advantage.
Get ready to go. The undefeated Oscar Negrete in all white with some gold trim. And Bulé Hidalgo, veteran fighter. He's bouncing around there in the black and red right above us. See, we're right here, so we're close.
He's ready to go.
I mean, they touch gloves, underway. Oscar Manuel Negrete, originally from Tierra Alta, Colombia, where they are watching us tonight. They have a watch party going on, so saludos a todos los que nos están mirando en Tierra Alta y todos los que le van a los Jaguares, the soccer team down there. Always good when you got a Colombian watching you. El Bulé comes out with the 1-2, wearing the white gloves. Good stiff jab from Negrete to open it up. 8 rounds scheduled, co-featured in the bantamweight division. This one was agreed to at 120 pounds. Negrete came in at, as did Bulé, at 119. Oscar Negrete started as a pro in 2011. That was in Florida, then he had 3 fights in Mexico. Finally migrated to the United States in 2014, where he's been ever since, residing in Southern California.
Beto, I know you're there often, but at The Rock about 5-6 weeks ago, I did notice Negrete, they're working with Manuel Robles, and on that day, he happened to be sparring with a highly touted 2016 Mexican Olympian, Joselito Velasquez. And I think that's one of the great things about working with Robles right now. If you are in that gym, in his stable, you're going to get quality, consistent work at the gym.
The Rock Gym in Carson, California. Manuel Robles is working with Negrete for the first time. And you mentioned that Joselito Lopez, Mexican Olympian, signed with Taken Promotions. He'll be making his debut in a couple weeks in Cancun. And the sparring that gets down, they actually brought up a couple of amateurs for him, guys with speed for Negrete, and he's had an excellent camp down there in Carson.
I think Manuel Robles has as deep a young roster of fighters. I probably got more blue chippers than John Calipari. I mean, he really does. When you go to that gym, literally from about, 9:30 in the morning till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they just roll in one by one.
He's got it covered in weight classes, too. I mean, as heavy as
flyweight to heavyweight.
Slava Shabransky.
Shabransky sparring with David Benavides. That was today. And Quigley sparring with Terrell Gaucher and Malcolm McAllister. That was today.
That's good work, yeah. Those guys are familiar. They do. That was very good work.
Suéltelo, suéltelo.
All growing and developing together, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of wrinkles that Robles can add to Negrete's game.
Negrete is a fighter, not the heaviest of punch, only 5 KOs. But what's his style? How would you describe it, Doug?
Busy boxer. Like I said, he gets it done with work rate and his conditioning. He has to be in very good condition to make up for his lack of power. If he gets a knockout, it's because he wears guys down and ends by outworking them on his way to outpointing them.
Working.
He's a good boxer, though. I mean, he had an extensive enough amateur career. He knows how to box against a variety of styles.
Golden Boy loaded in December, and January and February starting to shape up. Jessica Rosales, Golden Boy got up their sleeve.
You know, what can I say about these fights coming up that you guys didn't already touch on? Now, coming up December 16th at Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio. If you have not gone out there, this is definitely the time to do it. A massive triple header going on there. Eddie Gomez, Rashidi Ellis will be opening up that bout. And Antonio Orozco, Fidel Maldonado Jr. in the co-main. And of course, in the main event, Vyacheslav Shabransky, Sullivan Barrera, a definite test for Shabransky. So again, not one that you guys want to miss. And coming up on December 17th, you guys, this will be the farewell bout for Bernard Hopkins. And leading up to the 17th, they will be doing all kinds of tributes for him. He will be doing some media workouts leading up to this. And that is again December 17th, live at the Historic Forum. What better way for him to end his career, his legendary career, at the Forum.
As Jefe de Jefes is jamming, the boss of bosses, Tigres del Norte here at the Velasco Theater. I mean, Doug, Steve, October, what did you call it?
Darktober. Ooh.
Man.
Ooh. By the way, Doug, we referenced the 16th anniversary of Fernando Vargas against Trinidad. The night before, speaking of Hopkins, remember, he fought at the Venetian, fought Antoine Eccles.
The rematch.
Yeah.
He was body slammed to the canvas, may have suffered a dislocated left shoulder.
And still scored a stop.
Yeah, and
Just fought with just loading up with his lead
right.
The only two people in the world who might remember that. I don't even think the guys who were in the ring
right here. Yeah. Bernard's like, I did that.
Wow. Beto, we were all of 17 at that time.
So let's go to that fight in Vegas. Of course it is. Talking Sports, appreciate you sending out the tweet. Boxing, UFC, you cover it all. Also, those catering taking care of Oscar Negrete. Started his own catering company. Negrete, for the first time, he said he had to change something up in his diet. Hired somebody, a nutritionist, Alonzo from El Monte, taking care of him. And how about Ricky Romero, baseball player, on his honeymoon in Costa Rica with his Canadian Hall of Fame soccer playing wife, Cara. They're watching us from Costa Rica right now. Ricky mixing in some boxing training, and with seeing Negrete, appreciate the support down in Costa Rica, where he wiped out learning to surf. And I think Negrete is trying to wipe out Bule Hidalgo right now. And Bule's been in some battles over the years, and it's hard to drop him and take him out.
I think it might be better that they're fighting under 120 pounds.
They're essentially bantamweights.
I think some of the fights where Hidalgo was knocked out is
Over 120 pounds, fighting at junior featherweight,
sort of light featherweight.
Well, you mentioned that, Doug. He fought Jojo Diaz at 123, Julian Ramirez at 125.
Horacio Garcia.
Horacio Garcia at 123.
Yeah, and Garcia is a huge featherweight.
He
so
said this is
I
the
don't think
weight.
that was good for him.
He said this is the weight he feels best at, but at 124, 25, they pay more.
Of course. And you can't blame him for going up in weight to get those paydays, but there's physical punishment and damage that comes with it.
Yeah, those veteran journeyman Mexican fighters, they have no quarrels about telling you, yeah, I'm here for the money. But Negrete having a good round, landing some solid shots here. And here comes Hidalgo. That is his style. He will stay with you. If he can find a phone booth, he'll throw you in there and go with you. He said he was not impressed at all by Negrete's style nor his record. He said he hadn't fought anybody. Look who I'm with.
I didn't expect Hidalgo to be intimidated at all, seeing who he's faced.
That's a slip.
Next corner, go over there. That's good. Come here.
10
No
seconds to
knockdown.
go.
Come here, give me gloves. Come here, little no knockdown.
Jack Reeves cleaning them up.
Box.
Final seconds of the round.
Clean 'em up,
Oscar Negrete. Good round for him. And Jessica Rosales has more about El Jaguar, Oscar Negrete.
English.
So Hidalgo may not be impressed by Oscar's record, but the Colombian boasts a record of 14-0. He's undefeated. 5 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And you'll see up on your screen right now that we do have a little bit of extra facts about him. He's from Tierra Alta, Colombia, a 2006 bronze medalist in the South American and Central American Caribbean Games. And guys, this year is his 7th consecutive fight at the Belasco. He definitely feels comfortable in this atmosphere and looks like it as well. Now, here's a post that he put up yesterday after the weigh-ins. Beto, I know that you did talk about this. Now, he did tell us that this has been his best training camp, and some of that in part to his nutritionist, that he has changed the way that he's eating. And there you see him looking very happy because he got to eat after that weigh-in. And I'll tell you, before he weighed in, he was not smiling like this.
Jess, you're one who will let us know when you're hungry, or as you like to tell us, you're hangry. And there were some hangry fighters yesterday because these dudes working to get down to that weight. I think Negrete was happy it was at 120, not 118. But hey, when you evolve as a fighter, you got to change things up. You hire a strength and conditioning coach, you hire the nutritionist. You got to do that if you want to go to the next level.
Yeah, it's especially important for boxers who don't have natural world-class punching power or brute physical strength. Got to get your body as strong as it can possibly be if you're going to make that transition to the world-class level.
And Doug, just look at Negrete's record: 14 fights, no defeats, but again, 5 knockouts. So this tells you where his fights are going to go in the future as he moves up the ranks. He's going to have to be a marathon runner. All his fights are going to be 8, 9, 10 plus rounds from here on out.
Suéltelo, Raul.
Suéltelo, let him go.
Raul, suéltelo.
Jack Reeves.
Stop.
That's that veteran move right there, right?
Necesito suerte, like you holding his arm. Box.
Like important for referees to speak boxeo like that, right?
Absolutely.
You don't have to speak Spanish, just know enough to tell these dudes.
Suéltelo, Raul.
1-2 from Negrete. Good shot there. And Jaguar, the Jaguar.
Negrete is not a puncher, but he's trying. Trying to get as much leverage as he can on his shots. You can hear him bark and grunt with every shot delivered. The effort is always there with Negrete, which you have to respect.
And I believe there's now blood coming out of the left nostril of Hidalgo.
Yeah, just saw him wipe at it. Maybe blood's trickling from both nostrils now.
This is a real good round 3 here.
Oh,
Negrete's
I
starting
think
to really
Hidalgo,
sit down.
I saw his legs give a little
There
bit.
it is. He's holding on.
Yeah.
Strong round for Negrete, and he's moving around. Oh. That's let me buy some time here.
And it worked. It worked.
Olay.
That's what the old timers would say, he conned him. That's a con job. It's like, yeah, you had me in trouble. I was hurt. Let me do something to take your attention away from finishing me. And it worked.
A leak from the nose of Bule Hidalgo from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Early on, guys, you can see Negrete is just a little bit quicker, a little bit faster off the trigger. He is consistently beating Hidalgo to the punch.
Strong right from Negrete.
Negrete is not without
Athleticism. Just because he doesn't have world-class power or physical strength doesn't mean he's not a good athlete.
Another strong round for the man from Colombia. Looked like he almost went down. He didn't, did Bule? And Negrete is finishing it up here, and Bule's still trying to dance around. Good 3 rounds.
Excelente.
I agree with you, Jack. Excelente. Are you seeing Manny Robles with them? ¿Quién se anima? Who wants some?
En el 4º round. Y hasta ahorita estamos ganando todos los rounds cómodamente. Mire, deje que el knockout, si llega el knockout, deje que llegue solito. ¿De acuerdo? Con control, hijo, no se me aloque. Tranquilo, tóquelo y ponche duro. Ahora, escoge tus golpes y búscame los costados, por fuera, por dentro los ganchos. Busca la boca del escudo.
Let's get some replays from that last round, Doug.
Negrete landing a short left on the inside, lands a 1-2. Under and over. He's just working both hands here. the veteran does his wily thing.
Fourth round of action. Beto Duran, Steve Kim, Doug Fisher. Oscar Negrete looking good through 3. From what I was able to hear, as Gerardo Ortiz, Quien Se Anima, means Who Wants Some, that song was blaring throughout the Palacio. I mean, it's the last one of the year. You got to get the crowd fired up. Manny was telling him, you're winning every single round. Keep doing that. Good 1-2 from Negrete. Left hook, something he's incorporated into his arsenal here in this fight. Another left hook. Bula right there with him in the black trunks. (14-0) Oscar Negrete. Thanks to the teacher, Vanessa Rivera, grading papers at home, watching the fights on Ring TV. Appreciate the support as always. Boxing fan. Larry Hidalgo in Huntington Park, another teacher. Watching. Teachers love watching the fights.
Teachers are fighters.
Every single day.
You have to have them to do that job, to have that career. You have to have the mentality of a fighter.
You know, you
to
could
face
say,
those kids every day.
You could say they have about 25 opponents at a time.
Right.
And
1 hour a day for about six periods a day.
Jessica Rosales has more about Oscar Negrete.
Yeah, so if you've noticed in his corner, a big change there, you guys. He's now working with Manny Robles from the Rock Gym in Carson. And of course, Manny was telling me the way that happened is Oscar's team contacted him. Of course, he was already familiar with Oscar as he went in and sparred with a lot of his fighters, but he's been working with him exclusively for 4 months now. Now, he was telling me that the big thing about Oscar is that he doesn't want to change the way that he fights. He wants to work around what he already has and really utilize his tools out there. And he said the best thing about him is that there's potential to grow, not only to learn things, but that he wants to learn things. And of course, he said tonight the biggest challenge that they have is not this new corner, but this opponent that they have, because they know Hidalgo is going to be a tough one.
Hidalgo's a tough one, as Jose Jr. Giuseppe says. Thanks for having Jessica Rosales on the broadcast. Good information, Jess, about Manny and Negrete working together. And Negrete just, this is what you guys said, Bill, from the get-go. He gets on top of you, like they say in Spanish, encima. He smothers you.
Yeah, he looks like he's really trying to break Hidalgo down. Now, I see blood high on the right side of the head of Negrete. I don't know if it's his blood or Hidalgo's blood.
I think so far that this union between Manny Robles and Negrete, I would give them a passing grade. I think Negrete's overhand right has been very good today. He's done a nice job of setting up with the jab, then feinting, and then coming over, and they stop the fight.
And it is over. He stops it here. Jack Reese jumps in. He's seen Hidalgo take too much punishment here. And Oscar Negrete, the first time working with Manny Robles Jr., they embrace, gets the stoppage. And Hidalgo is tough. He will wear it. But that blood you were talking about, guys, was over his left eye. He was cut there. He was leaking from the nose.
The nose.
Well, Beto, as
so
I
he
was
wasn't
saying,
getting oxygen, you know what I mean?
the right hand of Negrete, I thought, was the dominant choice, and he would actually curl it and then throw it as a can opener, as they say, over the top.
Ear.
And I thought he was really good in putting on steady pressure, but at all times setting up that right hand from various distances.
And you didn't see any opposition from Hidalgo at all.
No, absolutely. Once he started cranking those overhand rights, he drove Hidalgo to the ropes, and then he switched his attack to the body and set to work at breaking down the veteran. And he did. The veteran stayed on his feet, but the fight was taken out of him.
There he is. It's always good when your cut man, Big Surge, doesn't have to work.
You know, Doug, we referenced this before. If you look at the 118-pound belt holders, obviously the guy out of Japan, Shinsuke Yamanaka, very respected fighter.
Oh, he's an elite fighter.
There's no doubt.
Yeah,
but the other
he's
guys,
a
like
pound-for-pound level guy.
Roshy Warren, the guy out of Cincinnati, very fast, a little bit fragile. Lee Haskins, I think, is very beatable. Marlon Topolis, I think, is very beatable. I don't see a lot of Supermen out there.
Those are belt holders.
Yeah, listen, if Negrete can get just a little bit better under the stewardship of Manny Robles, listen, I could see him in there with a guy like Jamie McDonald, who was very fortunate to beat a Liborio Solis, or a guy like Paul Butler, or a Stuart Hall, or a J.C. Payano.
Those are good fights, by the way.
I think he just needs to, like,
he needs to get another 10-rounder or two under his belt, a hard 10-rounder, maybe beat a top 15 contender, and then I think Golden Boy should just let him loose.
But I think tonight,
whoever will fight him, whatever title holder will fight him, take it.
But I think tonight that this partnership between him and Manny Robles is off to a very, very strong start.
There he is with a hand raised, El Jaguar. Saludos a toda la gente que nos está viendo en Tierra Alta, Colombia. El Jaguar with the victory. Oh, that looks good right there. That's a nice shot there. The Golden Boy staff getting the smooth shots. They got the drone out there. They got it all for you. Great job, guys. And Golden Boy Boxing on Ring TV Live is brought to you by Casa Mexico Tequila. Casa Mexico Tequila. It's in the taste. Go to casamexicotequila.com to find out more. And if you're having a wedding, well, right, I got you right there. Casa Mexico coming your way. Beth Brand, Doug Fisher, Steve Kim, and Jessica Rosales. The final edition of the LA Fight Club for 2016. And they're already shaping up what will be a strong 2017. Remember the last time we were with Oscar, he's like, oh, I got big news.
49 segundos del cuarto asalto de referee para la pelea para el ganador por knockout. The end comes officially 2 minutes, 49 seconds, round number 4. Referee Jack Reese puts a halt to the bout. Your winner by KO and still undefeated, Oscar El Jaguar Negrete.
He is now 15-0, his 6th stoppage, Oscar Negrete. There you see Ted, stage manager, waving his tattoo, working the crowd. Tattoo right there in the middle. That's the voice you hear throughout the night at all the Golden Boy events, press conferences, Ted getting the work done. As Jessica Rosales has got him in place. And there she is. Jess, what do you have?
Well, obviously the obvious one, Oscar. What was it like having Manny in your corner for the first time? Tener Manny en tu esquina por la primera vez. ¿Qué me puedes decir de eso?
Bueno, he sentido un cambio que quería. Me siento más confiado en el ring. Me siento con más movilidad. En realidad me ha beneficiado mucho este nuevo estilo que estoy agarrando. Tengo el mismo estilo, pero le estamos metiendo cositas diferentes que el profesor Manny trajo a mi campamento.
He said that he feels the change that he wanted to see. He feels very mobile in there. He feels very confident. And with Manny, he didn't change his style, but he definitely feels that he's doing a lot better in the ringing. Oscar, pues, Raul, he was a little bit tough for you tonight. Un poco difícil para ti adentro del cuadrilátero. ¿Qué pasó ahí con él?
Bueno, es un muchacho que tiene mucha experiencia, pero lo trabajamos bien. Muchacho que vino a pelear, no se dio por vencido y por todo el tiempo estuvo buscando la pelea.
He said that Hidalgo definitely came to fight. He has a lot of experience, and that tonight he was looking for the fight, but ultimately he gets the victory. Now, Manny, of course, your first time being in the corner. We talked about this before the fight. You said you wouldn't know what it felt like until after. What's the verdict?
Well, the verdict is extremely satisfied and happy for his performance. I think you all saw a different fighter tonight. Saw a kid that he's still aggressive. He's still a come-forward fighter, but he's control aggression, like I said before, and working behind the jab, which is the most important thing.
And that's something that Steve Kim did mention. So there you guys have it, a new partnership formed here, and of course with some great results tonight. Guys, we'll send it back to you.